I'm going to show a video now that is about a woman whose name is Eva Moses Kerr. And she's an important woman in history. She was held captive in the Auschwitz death camp. And so we'll start with that, and I need to warn you that our service is going to be a little longer today because we're doing a meditation twice, and after this video we'll do a meditation, and then we'll do it at the end as well. So here's this beautiful documentary 5-minute video about Eva Moses Kerr.
Eva is the model of, you think you have it hard. Let me tell you a little story.
Eva Moses Kerr, survivor, teacher, global inspiration, a Hoosier example for the world to follow.
We are free! We are
To have come as far as she has come, to have reached the stature that she has reached, is an extraordinary achievement.
Born in 1934 into an idyllic farming life in Romania,
eating some juicy cherries, looking at the sky.
Eva saw that life shatter when the Nazis occupied her village. Soon the Moses family, the only Jews in town, were carted off to Auschwitz, the deadliest of Nazi death camps. What Eva went through there at 10 years old is still hard to imagine.
There was everything in the world was done to me that would have killed me. And here I am alive.
After being separated from her parents and older sisters, never to see them again, Eva and her twin Miriam were used in experiments by Nazi Dr. Joseph Mengele in his efforts to create a perfect Aryan race.
Took lots of blood from here and lots of injections into here.
3,000 twins were experimented on in the Holocaust. Eva and Miriam were among only 200 who survived. Eva's self-liberation, however, was a long time coming. She eventually married and in 1960 moved to Terre Haute. There, Eva suffered tremendously, isolated by her confusion and rage about what had happened to her.
And most of my battles were alone. Nobody understood it.
Her anger was equaled by fierce determination. Single-handedly, Eva introduced the Mengele twins to the world, and she initiated the biggest manhunt in history.
The worldwide search for this war criminal was given new impetus today by those who were his victims.
Her ability to keep hearkening back from her little perch in Terre Haute, Indiana, was what woke up the world.
Eva's biggest accomplishment came from within.
I, Eva Moses Kerr, hereby give amnesty to all Nazis who
In 1995, on the 50th anniversary of the Auschwitz liberation, Eva Moses Kerr returned to the camp to announce that she had forgiven the Nazis.
Enough is enough. I am healed inside.
Since then, even amid debate over her decision, a one-time prisoner and long-time outcast flowered. Through her Candles Museum in Terre Haute, Eva dedicated her life to combating genocide, to spreading inclusiveness, to healing the wounded, and to planting seeds of self-empowerment and hope in a new generation.
She does not want you to leave the museum crying. She wants you to leave the museum smiling and empowered and ready to make a change in this world.
In her final years, Eva was followed and honored as never before.
The Grand Marshal of the 61st IPL 500 Festival Parade, please welcome Eva Kerr.
She received Indiana's highest designation.
It is my deep honor to present my first Sachem Award to Eva Moses Kerr.
And a new documentary and education program are taking her example and messages around the nation and beyond. She has more momentum now than she's had at any other time in her life. And so many times we are hearing people say, my gosh, that woman is incredible.
And you can change the world. Did you know that?
I want to be like her. I'm not an ordinary kid. I can change the world. I can do something special.
Eva Moses Core, life force, teacher, inspiration. A woman who stood as the perfect example of the power a single person has to make the world better.
I don't know if the world will really remember me or not. But if I could help improve this troubled world, that's good enough for me.
So we're about to do a heart-brain coherence meditation. And what this meditation will do is to help us create a harmony between our mind and our hearts. Scientists have discovered that our hearts have about 40,000 brain cells that are similar to what's in our brain. So our brain has the potential and does remember and think. And so the purpose of this meditation is to create that cohesiveness between our mind and our heart. You know, our brain kind of thinks linearly and makes decisions sort of in a linear way. And our heart, and the brain, by the way, takes a lot more time to do that because it has to process a lot more. But our hearts know what is right now. And there is no question, there is no deliberation. So this heart-mind meditation that we're going to do will help us to engage our full spiritual and our mind and our heart in cohesiveness so that we can come from our hearts. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathing in, letting go of any thoughts or feelings that might keep you from being present right now to this meditation. And imagine, if you can, that you bring your awareness to your heart and breathe into that. In the Mayan tradition, they would often place their palm on their hearts. In the Buddhist tradition, often the prayer hands are gently placed on the sternum. And I invite you to place your hands there in some way. Because we know that the places that we touch in our body brings our awareness to those places. And by gently touching the area around our heart, we bring our awareness there. And that's the first step in this meditation. And the second step is to focus on your breathing. Imagine that you can breathe in and take about 5 seconds to do that. So your breath is slow and deliberate. And hold the breath for a moment and then release. Let go. And do it again, breathing in, holding the breath, and letting it go. When we breathe in this way, our mind and body knows that we are safe, that we're in a safe place. And you might even say something to yourself like, I am safe and comfortable right now. And the third step in this process is to bring a feeling to your heart. And science has shown that there are 4 words that do this, 4 concepts, 4 expressions. And they are appreciation, gratitude, care, and compassion. Appreciation, gratitude, care, and compassion. So I invite you to think of a person that you have appreciation for, or gratitude, or care, or compassion. And as you reflect on this person and hold them in your awareness, feel one of these feelings. And breathing in, a slow breath, holding it for a moment, and then letting go. And as we do this and rest in this place of safety, we're actually building neurons, pathways that connect our mind and our heart. And now I invite you to begin to bring your awareness back to this moment. And to easily and gracefully open your eyes when you're ready. The more we practice this coherence meditation, the deeper these pathways between our mind and our heart become. And it becomes easier and easier to access it. Researchers have found that practicing this heart-brain meditation just for 3 minutes a day will set into motion a cascade of biochemical events within your body and your mind. And they say that on average, this lasts about 6 hours and has the ability to awaken the highest potential within us. That ability to be able to think with our heart and our brains simultaneously. And this technique is a trigger to self-healing in our minds and bodies. In this talk today, which I'm titling, What I Bring Forth Will Save Me, comes from Gregg Braden's newest book, which is this amazing book, titled The Wisdom Codes, ancient words to rewire our brains and heal our hearts. In this book, Gregg Braden cites a collection, numerous trusted chants and prayers and mantras that have been used historically for thousands of years. And they've been used by many traditions, by the Christian tradition, by the Buddhist tradition, by the American Indian tradition, and these cultures and these traditions have used them to find comfort, to find peace, to find love, to find connection with other people and with the planet, and to gain strength in difficult times, and to find inspiration to help with the challenges in life. And so Gregg calls these prayers, these mantras, codes, because they're codes that actually can help us open to our spiritual possibilities. And we will learn in the next couple weeks as we continue on these paths with some of these codes that we can, by using the heart-brain coherence meditation, actually use these processes to build the neurons in our minds and bodies as has been done for thousands of years. Last week my talk was titled, Embracing the Scientific Secrets Behind Powerful Prayer. And in the talk last week, we talked about the power, and in fact, I told a story about a monk who said that so profoundly that it's not so much the words that we use in our prayers, in our affirmations, but it's the feeling that's behind it. That feeling actually creates biochemical changes in our body and neuron changes that help to connect us with the truth of who we are. So I talked about, or I showed this video of Eva Moses Kaur, and she died at the age of 85. And as we saw, she endured the atrocities that were performed under the guise of medical experimentation at the Auschwitz concentration camp until she was freed at the end of the Second World War. Before her death in 2019, she returned to Auschwitz, and what made her visit so exceptional and so profound is, she came there to pay tribute to everyone who had died there. But in the process of that, she forgave the people who tortured her and other people and all the people that died in the camp. And she said, I forgive them for killing my parents, for robbing me of the rest of my life, and for taking my childhood from me. For turning my life to hell. For creating nightmares that accompanied me every night for 60 years. In my name, and only in my name, I forgive them for all the horrific deeds that they did. Kaur described how her life changed in the presence of her forgiveness. She said, as I forgave, I felt a burden of pain was lifted from me. I was no longer in the grip of that pain. Leaving no doubt about the power of forgiveness in her life, she later declared, I was finally free. How many of us had the album Yellow Submarine? Anybody have that album? Oh, John Lennon and Paul McCartney wrote the famous song that they recorded on this album titled All You Need Is Love. Remember that song? It was released on January 17, 1969. I think just about all of us were born then, or alive then. Maybe not. Maybe there's a few of us here who weren't born then. Don't raise your hand, because, I believe that most songs that are written about love. Isn't that true? It's the human experience of love is described in many ways and many places throughout history. It's typically described as a desire for love, or to recapture a romantic love, or to recapture, or to dwell on a love that we lost. Love is a primal force that can enhance our destiny or destroy our lives. While there's an abundance of ways that we can experience love, the view that love is a primal force that can enhance our lives or destroy our lives is seldom discussed. The Gospel of Thomas was discovered near Nag Hammadi, Egypt in 1945. It was among a bunch of biblical type books that were titled the Nag Hammadi Library. Have you heard of that before? The Book of Thomas is not a typical biblical book of stories. Unlike most of the other books in the Bible, the Book of Thomas is a set of 114 verses of things that scholars believe that Jesus actually said. So, for many years, I was attracted to this verse. Once I heard it, and I've spoken about it many times, but never quite in this way that I'm talking about it today. This is from the scripture number 70 from the book or the Gospel of Thomas. And it says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. Wow, we know it's powerful, and it's kind of threatening in a way too. Doesn't it make you want to go, okay, what is it that I need to bring forth within me that's going to save me? So our affirmation today is created from this scripture in the way that we want to look at it as students on a truth path. And so I've rearranged it a little bit to make it a little bit more positive, and we want only when we say a prayer or an affirmation to focus on how we can say that positively. So it says, and let's say it together, as I bring forth the love within me, the love I bring forth heals me. Can you feel the power in that? Don't you know that that is true? Gregg Braden calls this code number 15 because it's the 15th code that he talks about in his book. So I'll refer to it in both ways today when we talk about it. In his book, talking about the book of Thomas, Craig says, Jesus revealed wisdom code 15 to his followers, as well as future generations, as the single most powerful key to heal our lives and transcend our suffering. The good news is that it's a power that we already have. It's not something that we need to go into the world to discover. It's not out there. It's something that we have within us, and it already lives within us as love. And the key to this idea is that when we heal the distorted perceptions at the root of our suffering, all that remains is love. So we're getting rid of all the extraneous stuff, all the old erroneous beliefs that don't serve us anymore. When we do that, all that's left is love, the essence and the truth of who we are. Rumi said this in such a profound way. He said, he said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek to find all of the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Ever seen those barriers? Sometimes they can be huge, and sometimes they can be very subtle. The thoughts and the beliefs and the feelings that come to us that say, don't open your heart, right? I'm going to shut down. I'm not going to be present. I'm not going to give my love away. And we have a million excuses that can come up for that. You know, in these eloquent and beautiful words, Rumi reminds us that we already have love. And we already have that love's power within us. And that rather than having to look for it out here, as so many seekers do, that love is here. It's right here within us. And our job is to discover that love. And then to discover the psychological blocks or the emotional blocks and the psychological walls or the relationship walls that keep us from experiencing and expressing that love. Ernest Holmes, who is the creator of Science of Mind, or now they're called Centers for Spiritual Living, described it this way. He said, through the power of love, we can let go of our past history and begin again. Wow. That, to me, is what being born again means. It's like being born fresh, having a new consciousness, be able to be present in the moment and love in the moment. You know, here we're reminded of the depths of our love and the forgiveness that love makes possible for us. You know, forgiveness is a key that helps us to lift the burden and our own atrocities of the past. Through forgiveness, we can literally go back in time and be like children again, like be born again, and experience the truth of who we are and clear out our emotional memory. Eva Moses' core, by choosing to bring forth love and the subsequent forgiveness within her, Eva Core transcended the emotional suffering and the biological consequences of illness and disease that typically accompany prolonged and unresolved anger. And as a result, she lived to be 85 years old. Perhaps if she had clung to her anger, if she had dwelled upon the horrors in her life, maybe she wouldn't have lived so long. Maybe she wouldn't have been so happy as we saw her in this video. Maybe she wouldn't have lived such a fulfilling life. Maybe the love that she didn't share would have destroyed her. Instead, by experiencing the forgiveness, she was able to step into that love that she truly was and to live that love. By forgiving, we're accepting the reality of what happened and finding a way to live in a state of resolution with it. So we're not hanging on to the atrocities that we feel that we did to ourselves or that somebody else did to us. We're free. Don Miguel Ruiz says it so beautifully. You might remember his book, The Four Agreements. I'm sure a lot of us have read that. He said, forgive yourself The supreme act of forgiveness is when you can forgive yourself for all the wounds that you've created in your own life. Forgiveness is an act of self-love. When you forgive yourself, self-acceptance begins and self-love grows. Got anything you can forgive yourself for? Don't we, I know I do, sometimes play those tapes and remember the time that I did this or I said that? Somehow we think that punishing ourselves is going to teach us a lesson. But actually by holding on to it, it keeps our true self stifled so we can't be the truth of who we are, so we can't express our love, so that we can't be the light, as Jesus said. So the verse from Thomas says, if you bring forth that which is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. So what I've done is take this Wisdom Code 15, or this Book of Thomas, number 70, and I've kind of reworked it and used contemporary thoughts that we know about prayer and contemporary ideas that we have about affirmations, and let go of the threat part of that scripture, because we don't need to focus on that, and just made it positive. And I believe it's powerful to help us to capture this love that's within us. So let's say, and again, I invite you to, first of all, see it, read it, breathe into it, and then come from a powerful place as you say it. Doesn't have to be loud, but something that's meaningful and powerful to you. And let's say it together. As I bring forth the love within me, the love I bring forth heals me. In a minute, we'll repeat the heart-brain coherence meditation, and then I'm going to wrap into this meditation the affirmation, so that it's really anchoring that in our consciousness and opening ourselves to experience the fullness of this wisdom code and the truth that's within us. So I invite you to close your eyes. And take a deep breath. And perhaps just to remember the feeling that we had a few minutes ago when we did this meditation. To connect in and feel that connection and that coherence between the mind and the heart. And then I invite you, as we did earlier, to place your hands on your heart. Remembering that our awareness always goes to the place where we feel the sensation. Breathing in and breathing out. And again, let's practice the 5-second inhalation, holding the breath for a moment, and then repeating the 5-second exhalation. Breathing in breathing out. Saying yes to the comfort in this moment. Yes to the love. Yes to the beauty of our minds and hearts. And as before, think of someone or something that you appreciate. Or are grateful for, or care for, or feel compassion for. And allow your body, your mind, to expand into this idea, into this feeling. As I bring forth the love within me, the love I bring forth heals me. Let us think it again, whisper it perhaps. As I bring forth the love within me, the love I bring forth heals me. And let's just spend a few moments in the silence. Take a moment to check in with your body. How does your body feel? And check in with your emotions. How do your emotions feel? When we communicate and when we create this heart-brain coherence, we open the door to connecting with that presence of spirit within us. We connect with that intuitive essence, the truth of who you are. Breathing in and breathing out. I invite you to begin to bring your conscious awareness back to this moment. As we connect our minds and our hearts, we remember the truth of who we are. That we are conscious beings, here to be the presence of love. And as we connect with this truth of who we are at our essence, we can truly say, I am finally free. As I bring forth the love within me, the love I bring forth heals me. I know that we all participate in the law of giving and receiving all the time. The more love we share with our friends, with our family, the more love we're open to receive. And the more love that our family and our friends share with us. And the more love that we can accept when we are a part of that flow of love. I know that the same principle applies to our prosperity and to the way that we work with our gifts, with our finances. And so I'm inviting you this morning to check in to yourself and to who you are and to what you receive from Unity on Maui. And I invite you to be in that place of giving to us, because your gifts allow us to keep doing what we're doing, to have the amazing staff that we have, the amazing musician that we have, and the incredible new technology that we're always looking for to embrace, to allow this message that we believe in to reach out and touch people all around the world. So I invite you today to be a giver, and you, dear ones at home, in the same way, watching us on Facebook or on YouTube. And there's a number of ways that you can give to us, and you can always go to our website, which is www.unityonmaui.org, and click on the donate button there, and there's a safe and secure way to give. Or you can always write a check to us and put it in an envelope and send it to 483 South High Street in Wailuku, 96793. And we give thanks for all the gifts that are coming to Unity on Maui right now. And we know as you give, you receive, and you help us in the same way. And I invite you to catch that feeling and what it feels like to give, and to embrace that feeling in the same way we embrace a feeling in our prayer. To really feel the dynamic vibration of giving. So thank you. So as you hold your gifts, let's take a deep breath and breathe in. And let's affirm and pray together, even with some emotion would be kind of fun, yes? Let's pray our offering prayer, our affirmation, and say it together. Together, through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Thank you, God. Thank you, loving Spirit, for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, and we give thanks for them, knowing that they are moving through this ministry out into the world. And we behold a world filled with love, with light, and with peace. And so it is. Thank you. Well, I would like to invite Kealoha Offerman to come up and join me up here. Hi there. I know this is one of her favorite things to do. Some time ago, in appreciation of Kealoha, our board gave her this amazing plaque that says, Kealoha Offerman. We take this opportunity to express how grateful Unity on Maui is for your continued commitment, positive energy, dedication, and many years of service. We hold you in the highest regard, and may abundance, light, and love be yours. And read what it says in Hawaiian and tell us what that means, would you?
Mahalo makoi, mahalo makoi ya'oi. And when I got this plaque, I was incredibly touched because there are other pronouns in Hawaiian that don't exist in English. And they went to the trouble to make this grammatically correct because Hawaiian language is important to me. So mahalo nui.
Don't go away yet. And I wanted to share also that the letter that the board wrote, I don't need that, and to Kealoha, and we all signed it. There's a copy of it on the back of Kealoha's plaque. In recognition of your many years of dedicated service on Unity on Maui, we members of the board wish to extend a long overdue acknowledgement of your time and efforts. Words cannot adequately express how valued you are. We are delighted to present you with this reminder of our love, gratitude, and appreciation. I just have to take a breath here. Whew. Kealoha, you have blessed us with your attention to detail, consistent reliability, extensive business knowledge, organizational skills, and prosperity consciousness. We appreciate your unique creative ability to look forward and to recognize potential challenges and resolve them in advance. Your extraordinary skills have helped to keep Unity on Maui financially prosperous. Our financial reports are always on time, well-balanced, and with totals in the black most of the time. Well done, Kealoha. Let's give Kealoha a big hand. You're welcome. Okay, I've punished you enough, I think, right? Thank you. Wow, this is a delicious time, I must say. Oh, and today's flowers are offered by Alcantorna with gratitude for Virgie's health and healing. Thank you, Al. We know you're out there watching, Al, and if Virgie is close by, give her a big hug for us. Our prayers, thoughts and prayers are always with her for healing as well. And we love you both and appreciate you so much and are so blessed to have you as part of our congregation and in our lives. Let's give them both a hand, yeah? Oh, and if you'd like to give flowers on Sunday morning, offer flowers to us, you can do that very easily. There's a sign-up sheet on the table back there, and you can bring flowers, and then we'll make a dedication to someone who's dear in your heart as well. Well, recent discoveries in modern science add to a growing body of evidence suggesting that beauty is more than simply a pleasurable aesthetic. It's a transforming power. Through our experience of beauty, we have the power to change what we feel in our bodies. As we talked about in previous talks, our feelings are directly related to our neurons. And they are wired and fired together based upon what we think and what we feel, and actually contribute to the chemistry in our bodies, as well as to the world. Our thoughts and feelings have a world effect. So when we say that beauty has the power to change our lives, it's no exaggeration. We can say that beauty can change the world. In my talk next Sunday, it's titled The Hidden Power of Beauty. We're going to look at the powerful meaning of beauty. We're going to look at the ancient Navajo prayer titled Navajo Beauty Prayer. And through this Navajo Beauty Prayer, we'll see how that we can capture these amazing strengths that beauty has to offer us. And I think it's so marvelous because it also ties in with the Aloha group thing that we're doing currently. I'll talk about that in a moment. So we can use this prayer to help navigate through our challenges and to help us make a difference in the world. So next week we will discover the hidden beauty of prayer. And then, as you know, we've been, our Aloha groups just started this last week doing this amazing book, The Art of Noticing by Bob Walker. It's 131 ways to spark creativity, find inspiration, and discover joy in the everyday. It's a great book for practicing being present in the moment and being aware of what's going on. And I have to admit, I made a mistake last week. I didn't put the link to the meeting in our e-blast, and I suspect that there were some people who weren't able to connect because I forgot that, and I apologize for that. But I'd like to open the opportunity up for you still to join us this coming Thursday at 7 o'clock. And, it's not this Thursday. This Thursday is Halloween's. You know, what can I say? The mind is a great thing when it works well. This Thursday is not Halloween. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. This Thursday is Thanksgiving. So enjoy your time with your friends and your relatives and however you enjoy Thanksgiving this year. We will invite you to participate a week from Thursday, and that information will be in the bulletin. All right, then, and you can find more information like this up on our website, on our YouTube page. And I've got a walk your talk in the back that looks like this if you are wanting to remember or apply the things we talked about today. And it'll also be in your newsletter on Thursday morning, I promise. So I think that we've done it as much as we can do today for our consciousness and for our hearts. And thank you all for being here. Why don't we all stand? And let's take a deep breath and pray and affirm our prayer for protection together, which begins, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is. God bless you, friend. See you soon. Mahalo.
Where I live, they're all raised.